Welcome to day number 1 of our arm strengthening course. I'm Dr. Ben. What we're going to start with today is not going to be anything particularly challenging. We're going to ease our way in. And so when it comes to arm strengthening, a big part of what limits people is actually their joints' ability to continually do the movements while we try to strengthen the muscles. So what we're going to spend today doing is less time on strengthening muscles, and we're going to make sure that we kind of explore the full ranges of motion of all the joints in our arms and our upper body. And the reason that we're going to do that is I just want you to be kind of aware of where the little hitches are in your joints, and I want you to be aware of exactly where we're going to be going through ranges of motion. So today, we're not using any weights. What we're going to be doing is just going through some mobilizations. What most people will find is that this is still going to be somewhat tiring because most of us aren't used to doing a lot of repetitions of even a mobilization or a stretch. So this will begin the strengthening process, but for today, we're not going to use any weights whatsoever. We're just going to work from our fingertips all the way up to our neck, doing a little bit of movement just to try to make sure that we're easing into it. So the first thing that I want you to do, and for today you can have your back up against the back of a chair if you want, but for most of our exercises I'm going to want you in the middle of your chair, kind of sitting upright. But for today we're going to start with our wrists. So what we're going to do is wrist circles, and we are going to be going first, we're going to do it with a fist, and then we're going to do it with an open hand. And the reason we do that is there's actually different sets of muscles that cross your wrist that help to move it when we have our hand closed versus our hand open. So there are actually different kinds of strength that we use. So the first thing I want you to do is just kind of sit in an upright position. It doesn't have to be aggressive. Just kind of a relaxed, upright posture with your head tall towards the ceiling and kind of bobbling, nice and easy. And then you're going to take your right hand, make a fist. It doesn't have to be a squeeze. I just want you to close your palm, wrap your thumb over top of your fingers. And all we're going to do is, as if your thumb were aiming up towards the ceiling, we're going to be doing little circles where we're going clockwise. And I want you to try to do full circles if you can. Something like that. And what we're going to do, and even if your fingers and thumb move around a lot while we're doing this, that's okay. I just want you to keep them bent. We're going to keep going. Don't be surprised if you get a lot of clicking and popping, and just follow along with me. Circle them around. Even if you don't have a huge range of motion, just keep going. And then relax that side and let the arm shake out. So a lot of the time after we do certain movements through this course, what I'm going to get you to do is to kind of shake things off. Almost as if you just came in out of the rain and you're trying to get a lot of the water off of you. I want you to actually do a little bit of that in between our exercises, purely because it's actually going to help a lot of the built up lactic acid and other things in our muscles to kind of work its way back into your system. So it'll help the burn go away. It'll help you recover. We're going to shake things out. Okay? So now we're going to switch over to the other side. We're going to do our other hand. And again, we're going to curl in our fingers, put our thumb over top, and this time we are going to go counterclockwise on our other hand. And just follow along with me. And the thing I care the most about is actually that you move under control. It's not necessarily important that you get an extravagant range of motion. I'm just trying to make sure that we have access to and control over whatever range of motion we have. So just keep going for a few more repetitions here. And as you'll probably figure out, most people are starting to get a little bit of a burn in the muscles in their wrist and their forearm. That's pretty normal. Good, so let's call it on that side. And again, you can kind of shake that out, almost as if you're trying to get everything nice and loose and wobbly. You're trying to shake off the rain again. So now we're going to do the other side again, and we're going to do it again with a closed palm. And what we're going to do is we're going to circle all the way around, and we're going to go counterclockwise. So we did clockwise, counterclockwise. We're going to go back to the first hand, and we're going to do counterclockwise. Okay? So same thing, closed hand, counterclockwise circles. Try to make the circle so that you're not moving your elbow very much. You're using mostly your wrist. But try to make sure that you're getting nice and big. And then once you get comfortable with that range of motion, I want you to really slow it down and try to make it really extravagantly about your wrist. And let's just do a few more circles here. Good. And then you can shake that one out. We're going to switch over to the other side, and we're going to do the last one with wrist closed. We're going to do this one clockwise. So same thing. Just start doing some circles and slowly slow them down and try to make them nice and big if you can. So a big part of upper body strength is actually your grip strength. And your grip strength is not just in your hands, it kind of lives through your forearms, but also in your rotator cuff and your shoulders. So it's really important that we have all of these involved in order to really gain our full upper body strength that we have access to. Good, all right, now we can shake both arms out and we can call that one for today. So the last thing that I want you to do is I want you to do something like this, where you're gonna have hands on your lap with your palms facing down. So what we're going to do for now is we're just going to spread all of our fingers out, and then we're going to try to lift straight up and straight back down again. So most people, this is going to be one of the weakest movements that we have as far as our forearm, our wrists, and our grips goes. A lot of people don't have very much range of motion, and they don't have a lot of muscle involved in this. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to have hands on top of knees or lap. We're going to spread our fingers like they're just getting electrocuted, just zap them straight out, and then we're going to lift just our hands. So we want the base of our hand to stay on top of our thigh, and we just want to lift our fingers and palms up and off. So we're just going up and down like that. So what I want you to do is you're going to do both hands at the same time, and you're going to do 10 repetitions. And all you're going to do is pause for a split second at the top, and then relax. Pause for a split second at the top, and then relax. So try to give me 10 repetitions of that one, starting now. Make sure your fingers are straight out, lift up, and then down again. If you can't fully straighten your fingers, that's entirely fine. I care more about the muscle activity that it requires to try to straighten them than about the actual range of motion that they have. A lot of people, as we age, we lose the ability to have our fingers through a huge range of motion. That's entirely fine. All I want you to do is to really try to use as much muscle as you can to get it to happen. You're probably getting a little burning on the back side of your wrist now. That's what should be happening anyway. So get them nice and tense. Keep them tense as they're up. And let's just do one more rep. Spread them, lift and hold, and then relax again. So same thing, take a little breath, shake them out a little bit. As you've probably figured out, it doesn't take a lot of resistance to get a lot of the grip muscles and the wrist muscles really burning and doing a lot of extra work. So even without weights, a lot of the time, just by doing a lot of repetitions through our normal range of motion, we can get a lot of the extra muscles doing a lot of work around our grip and our forearm. The next thing that we're going to do is going to be elbow circles. So elbows themselves really only go in one direction. They go straight front to back, and they kind of flip over. So what we're going to be doing is something that looks a little bit like cheering. So it's actually going to be doing this sort of thing, almost as if you're creating a circle with your fist. So a lot of what's happening is at our elbow here is that we're kind of flipping over, and we're going back and forth here. So I want you doing these small little circles. Don't have your elbow up too high, or it's going to end up being a little more of a shoulder movement. So all I want is for your elbow to be a little bit off your side, and we're going to be doing this sort of thing. So again, get into a position where you're not going to hit your chair or something nearby. Take one hand, put it on your lap, and all you're going to do is we're going to start with me. I'm going to start with my left hand, and we're going to go counterclockwise, and we're just going to be doing 15 of these little circles, and try to keep them relaxed, and you're trying to get your elbow straightened out to the side, bent up in towards the front of you, and then straightened out to the side again. Okay? So let's do 15 of those counterclockwise, starting with the left. Don't be surprised again if there's a lot of clicking and popping. As long as we don't get any big clunks or anything that's particularly painful, that's entirely fine. Good, so we've got about 15 there. You can take that arm, you can shake it out a little bit. Now we're going to switch, do the exact same thing on the other side, going the other direction. So on my left, I was going counterclockwise. On my right, I'm going to go clockwise. Okay, so same sort of thing. Get the other hand on top of your knee or lap, and we're going to be going out straight, curling in towards the front of our chest, and then out straight again. We're going to do 15 of those. Good. So I've got about 15 there. Might have been more. I lost count at this point. And again, take a little breath, shake the arms out. They're probably starting to burn a little bit, which is great. I know mine are starting to burn a little. So the next thing that we're going to do is less of a strength movement, more of a stretch and something for mobility. So the back of our shoulder doesn't tend to get a lot of pain in a lot of people, although some it does. It tends to get pretty tight though. So what we're going to be trying to do is we're going to be trying to stretch this back side of our arm and shoulder and rotator cuff here. So the easiest way to do that for most people is just to have their elbow facing up, or maybe even facing the front of them a little bit. And you're going to take the other hand and you're going to pull in. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the opposite side elbow to pull a straight arm across. So what I want you to do is to take your arm and pull across the front of your body here. So if you have to use, if you try to use your forearm, it's not going to work as well because you can just bend your elbow. So if possible, I want you to try to at least grab at the elbow with your hand and pull across. If you have the mobility to be able to do it, I'd encourage you to use the opposite elbow on top of that one and pull it across here. So all we're going to do is 10 little pumps like this. So try to get into whatever position is going to be easiest for you to do this. If you have to shrug a little bit to make it happen, feel free to shrug. But what I want you to do is to try to sink your shoulders down with one arm straight across your body, and then you're going to be pulling it across like that. Okay, so get into that position now. And what we're going to do is 10 repetitions where we're just gently kind of mobilizing and twisting across our body. Give that a try right now. And don't feel that you have to pull too hard on your shoulder. It's more just a gentle mobilization than anything. Although, don't be surprised if your arms start to get tired just from being up here this long. Good. So there's approximately 10 on one side. Take a breath. Let the arms shake out a little bit. And don't feel the need to push into this if it causes you any kind of pain or pinching in the front of your shoulder. A lot of people, it will pinch. If you find that you get something that's really uncomfortable in the front of your shoulder, the one that's coming across like that, one thing you can do is try to arrange the rotation of your arm. So you can roll your arm out, roll your arm in. A lot of the time, that'll avoid that little pinch sensation. But if you can't avoid it, then just try to be very gentle and try to get yourself pulling more so than pushing. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing on the other side now. We're going to take arm across body. I'm going to use my other elbow. And we're just going to mobilize with 10 repetitions of a twist and a little stretch. Give that a start now. Good. So we're around 10 repetitions there. And then again, take a breath, kind of shake the arms out a little bit. Try to let everything relax as much as you can. So our next one is going to be really purely a stretch, and it's going to be for our neck. One of the reasons that we tend to stretch our neck is we tend to lose the range of motion in our neck over time. And that's because most of us don't spend a lot of time going through the full range of motion of our neck that we have. So we can gain a little bit of it back through some stretching, but we also want to make sure that we're maintaining what we have. So there's different ranges of motion. There's flexing and extending, there's rotating over either side, there's bending to either side. Most of the time, most people will find that they're a little restricted in their rotation because that's what they notice when they're doing something like shoulder checking in a car, or they have to check when someone talks to them in their range of motion. Most of us don't notice that the tightest range of motion for most of us is actually this tilt side to side. And if we get the tilt side to side fixed, a lot of the time it will help with the rotation and it will help the front to back. So that's what we're going to focus on, is the side to side. I will say this, when we get into this stretch, is that some people will find this a little bit dizzying. So if you've had dizziness problems before, or you have ongoing dizziness problems, just make sure that you're going very slow and that you're holding on to something, that you're nice and anchored, so that if you get dizzy, you know where you are in space and we're not going to have some kind of balance issue or have a fall. Okay? So for most people, that means it's usually easiest to scoot right up against the back of their chair just to make sure that they have kind of an anchor point. Okay? So for me, I'm going to have my legs a little further apart so balance is less of an issue. All you're going to do is you're going to take one hand, you're going to reach it over your head and you're going to hold on essentially just over top of your ear. So your ear being right here, you're going to hold above that in the hair right here. And when you hold onto that spot, all you're going to do, you're not going to pull down. So the force is not going to be down this way from your ear. It's going to be up and over that way. So it's going to be something like this. We're not pulling down, we're pulling up here. So what should happen is your chin will come a little bit sideways. I want you to aim it forward as much as you can, and you're going to be pulling as if you're trying to pull the skin on the side of your head above your ear up and over that way. Okay? So we're just going to do this and then come back. What we're going to do is 10 gentle versions of that. Most people, if they hang out in that position for a while, it will make them a little more dizzy. So we're going to do 10 gentle mobilizations where we're going to pull up and over and come back. So most people are going to find this easiest with their eyes closed. So once you figure that you've done it well, feel free to close your eyes to do 10 repetitions, take a breath, and then open them up again. I'll tell you when I'm done my 10. Okay? So hand over top of the head to the skin above the ear, and you're going to pull up and over 10 times, starting now. Good. So I've got 10 of them done there. I'm going to take a little breath, make sure that there's no dizziness going on, make sure we're nice and oriented in the room. And then once you feel like you've settled from that one, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take the other hand, reach across our head over top to the top of our the skin right above our ear, and we're going to do the same thing the other way whenever you're ready. Okay? So I'm going to do 10 repetitions. Follow along with me, starting now. And don't be surprised if one side is significantly tighter than the other. That's pretty normal. And don't feel the need to push it too hard either. Good. So there's 10 repetitions for me. And again, I'm going to open my eyes, make sure I'm nice and oriented, make sure that we're not dizzy from that at all. And once we're ready, we're going to move on. For our last exercise of the day, I want you to scoot forward a little bit so that we're not supported against the back of our chair. And that's because we're going to be moving in a way that you would rub your shoulders against the chair if your back was against it. So the last thing we're doing is going to be scapula circles. So scapula is the cool, fancy medical term for your shoulder blade. So it's this big chunk of bone on the back here. And we have a lot of different muscles that control it. There's actually 17 different muscles that control your shoulder blade. Fortunately for us, we don't have to learn how to use one at a time. We can just move our shoulder blade really easily. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing circles with our shoulder blade. And a lot of people will find that they can get a little bit sore from this because they're not used to moving their shoulder blades in their full range of motion. That's entirely fine. So just know that you might get sore from this. And out of everything we've done, most people will find that one of the directions of moving their shoulder blade, they're going to get clunking and clicking and some weird sounds. If you don't, great. But probably 9 out of 10 people are going to get that. I get it on both my shoulder blades in both directions. It's not abnormal. It's just muscles and bones kind of rolling past each other. That's how the body works. Okay? So you're going to get towards the front of your chair. You're going to, again, get into a nice upright position. And you're going to try to get your hands on your laps is usually the easiest way. You can have them a little closer towards the rest of your body or out towards your knees. So what we're going to do is we're going to jut our shoulders forward like that, up towards our ears, back, and then down, and then forward again. So what's going to happen is essentially this kind of circular motion. So the goal of this is to try to get the full range of motion in every direction. So I don't just want these tiny little circles. What I want is for you to get your shoulders as if you're trying to touch them together in front of you, and then as if you're trying to put them in your ears, as if you're trying to pull them behind your head, and as if you're trying to put them into your back pockets, and then do the whole thing again. So we want a big range of motion. It's usually a lot more tiring than it looks just to move your shoulders. But I want you to do 10 repetitions where we're going to be doing backwards rolls. So we're coming up and down like that. You're going to end up moving your rib cage. You're going to end up moving your head. That's all entirely fine. Just go through the full range of motion if you can for 10 total repetitions. Okay? So sit towards the front of your chair, get into an upright position, start with shoulders forward, and do 10 backwards rolls through our full range, starting now. Good. So we've got about 10 repetitions there. You can slouch for a minute if you want to. Let everything relax. Let your posture relax. Let your shoulders kind of bounce around a little bit. And then as soon as you're done that, we're going to do the exact same thing, just the other direction. So we're going to be doing forward rolls with our shoulders now. Okay? So same kind of position. You're going to get towards the front or middle of your chair. Kind of have your hands on top of your thighs. And we're going to pinch our shoulder blades back like we're sticking our chest out. Up towards our ears. Forward towards our chest, and then down towards our pockets. Okay? So we're going to be doing these circles right here. Okay? So I want you to get into the right position, get ready, and do 10 repetitions of this one, starting right now. Good. I've got about 10 reps there. And we'll do one more. Take a big breath. Let it all out. And try to relax. Shake the arms out a little bit. Scoot towards the back of your chair. Lean back and relax. That's it for day number 1. So as you've probably figured out, it doesn't take a lot of resistance, doesn't take a lot of weight, and we can actually do a lot of work with our arms and our upper body without needing a whole lot of extra outside materials like dumbbells and bands. We're going to add more resistance through the week as we go. So if you found that today was really challenging for you, I'd encourage you to do it over again. And if you ever have the need to do kind of a little mini workout or a little mini challenge for yourself, just remember that you can go through all of the joints from your hand all the way up to your neck, and you can just do some really slow and controlled circles with them, 10 reps at a time. It'll give you a little mini workout that's going to help you a lot. That's it for today. Look forward to seeing you on day number 2.